Texas Math Mundo audience. Today we have the Class 4A 2021 state champion in mathematics, Jessica Zhang, a proud Port Lavaca Calhoun sand crab. That right ahead of us. Let me take a moment to remind you, if you like this sort of content, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. Also, take a moment to smash that like button and leave a comment below. Jessica Zhang, right ahead. My name is Saul Cantu, and this is Texas Math Mundo. Texas Math Mundo audience, we have a real treat in store for us. We have from Class 4A, Port Lavaca Calhoun, the 2021 Mathematics State Champion, Miss Jessica Zhang. Welcome, Jessica Zhang.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm so happy to have you. I just recently interviewed some females, and you're the second time I have a female on my show, so I'm so happy to get the female perspective.
Exciting.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. So the school year is winding down for us, so we're on easy street now. Have you all finished school already?
We have. I graduated just last Friday.
Really? So this is some downtime for you?
Mm-hmm, it is.
All right. Enjoying yourself, I hope.
Mm-hmm, I am.
Cool. So, I want to say congratulations on your recent showing at State. Math State Champion 2021, Class 4A, Port Lavaca Calhoun Sand Crab, Jessica Zhang. What are your thoughts about the recent state meet?
To be honest, I didn't really know what to expect. I think I can speak for everyone when I say that we were all a little disappointed that it wasn't going to be at Austin this year. We definitely missed out on all the excitement and the hustle and bustle of meeting with the entire state at one campus. But on the bright side, it was a lot less of a nerve-wracking experience for me personally because I couldn't see my competitors physically, so I couldn't get psyched out by them.
Yeah, because I imagine, have you ever been to a state meet where they meet in person?
Yes, I have. I went my first 2 years, so my freshman and sophomore year.
Oh, okay. See, and you know, there's just no substitute for the electricity in the air, for having all that brain power in one room. It's so exciting.
I know.
You know, the electricity in the air, you know, it's just fantastic. There's no substitute, but considering we didn't have a competitive season last year, at least we got to compete this year.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We were very lucky.
And how did you personally prepare, and how did your team prepare this year in light of the pandemic?
I'll start with our team. So before COVID, we would try to meet as frequently as possible after school in our school cafeteria and just go over practice tests and different problem-solving strategies. But this year, since we couldn't meet in person as much or at all, my teacher kind of nominated me as our team leader, and my teammates would just come to me if they have any questions, and we would try to work it out together. But if I had any questions, I would then go to my coach, Mr. Rubach.
Okay. So you were like the designated team leader.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And how enthusiastic was your group? Was your group pretty enthusiastic?
They were pretty excited. This was our first year being bumped down to 4A because we were initially in 5A.
Okay.
But we felt like we had a pretty good chance. 5A is really competitive, and 4A is too, but a little less so than 5A because we're a smaller school.
Yeah, yeah. You want to do a shout out to your teammates and to your coach?
Oh, yeah, sure. So I'll give a shout out first to my math coach, Mr. Rubach, for all his help and support. My teammates and I sometimes conspirize that he is a superhuman because not only is he our math coach and our school math club sponsor, but he also teaches Algebra 2 and Calculus AB and Calculus BC and statistics.
Wow, wow, that's pretty impressive. Boy, he got a full plate, doesn't he?
He does, and he's still somehow the most cheerful and energetic person in our school. It's so crazy.
That makes a difference. It makes a big difference. When not only you have a full load and quite a busy schedule, but you're have a good attitude and a merry a happiness to you.
Yeah, exactly. He contributes a lot to our team morale.
Wow, wow, that's great. That's great. So you really enjoyed working with him as a sponsor, and he really helped you all.
He really did.
All
And
right.
I guess I'll give a shout out to my teammates too.
Yes.
Kelly and Carrie and Ian. We've known each other since we were practically babies. And we've been each other's biggest supporters all along the way.
Really, really. So you've known each other like through grade school?
So I moved to Texas when I was 5, and Kelly and Carrie were the first friends I made actually here in Port
Really?
Lavaca.
And they're on the math team with you.
They are.
Wow, that's quite interesting. I'm going to ask about that in a second. I was going to ask about that. But before
Okay.
that, I'm going to ask, when not engaged in schoolwork, what are your hobbies and interests?
Yeah, so because I just graduated, I have a lot of free time now, and I've been rediscovering a lot of my old hobbies and interests. So one thing I've done a lot of lately is painting. I actually made one of my teachers a Mandalorian painting as a gift. And I'm now painting a painting for my mom. That's a landscape piece because she loves mountains and trees.
Do you have it right next to you?
I do, but I'm not done. I only have the mountain part.
Oh, wow. It looks great, though. It looks great. Those mountains look really good.
It took forever.
Really?
I've never taken painting classes before, so it's a new experience for me.
Oh, wow. I love it. When you can take things to broaden your horizon, to learn something new. That's wonderful. So you're enjoying the painting?
Yes. And I've also been playing piano too. I used to take lessons. I took them for 10 years, but I had to quit before my junior year because my schedule was just so busy. But I've been just playing a lot of pieces that I really enjoy.
Wow. Yes, I must say, Jessica, you look like you have a really upbeat personality, a kindness to you. You look like you're a real joy to be around.
Oh, thank you. I try to be.
Yeah, I can tell. It comes out. It comes out in your personality, the smile and everything. I can tell that you're a great teammate and really nice to be around. So, okay, now I want to get to your past. So where are you from? You said something about moving here when you were 5.
Yes.
Born and raised. So what's that story?
Okay, so I was born in Las Cruces, New Mexico, and I lived there for about 2 years before I moved to Lawrence, Kansas. And I lived there until I was 5. And then I moved here to Texas, to Port Lavaca, Texas, and I've lived here since. So I consider Port Lavaca to be my hometown.
So tell me Port Lavaca. Where exactly is Port Lavaca? I'm not that familiar with it.
So Port Lavaca is right on the coast. Houston and Corpus Christi, we are right in between those two. So we're 2 hours from Corpus and 2 hours from Houston.
Okay, is it like a fishing community? Is it, Okay,
There's
wow.
a lot of seafood restaurants.
Oh, really, really. And culturally, what's your background?
I am Chinese. So both of my parents came from China, and they studied at the University of New Mexico, which is why I was born there.
Really? Okay, wow, wow. Excellent, excellent. Cool. When did you realize that you had a talent for mathematics?
I wouldn't really say that I have a talent for mathematics, but it's always played a pretty big part in my life. So I moved around a lot when I was little, and every time we moved to a new neighborhood, my mom would just take me on walks around the block, and then she would teach me my times tables. And one of my earliest memories was, I think, when I was 3 or 4, but she asked me what 3 times 4 was, and I was so proud that I remembered it was 12.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So she would walk you around the neighborhood reciting your times tables.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. See, that's a good mama. That's a good mom right there.
It,
Awesome.
kind of cheesy, but math is really comforting to me because my surroundings were always changing, but it was like the one thing that was constant.
That makes sense to me. It does make sense to me, because, nobody can tell you you're wrong because math, there's a certain certainty that you know you're right if you like have the logic and stuff. I kind of get I get what you're saying. And I got a question because you're only the second time I have a female on.
Okay.
Do you think being female impacted your journey? Were the boys competitive with you, or you never sensed any of that?
So like in math competitions, I have noticed that there tends to be more boys than girls, and I think that's just like an overall reflection of the gender gap in STEM education and occupations. But for me personally, it hasn't negatively impacted me in any way. I've met competitive people of all genders.
Yeah.
The smartest people I've met are actually female in my UIL journey.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and you're one of them, state champion. So you went to so you met your lifelong friends when you were in kindergarten at 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
What were their names again?
We have Kelly and Carrie.
Okay.
So they're actually sisters.
Oh, okay. So you were in kindergarten when you met them.
Yes, I was.
And you just went through the whole system together and were in the math team. Wow. So, what was your introduction to competitive mathematics?
Probably MathCounts in middle school. I participated for all 3 years. I made it to state for all 3 years, but I did quite terribly all 3 years.
Really?
But it was a super fun experience. It was really fun learning. The learning process is my favorite. And I was always very in awe of all the kids who made it to the countdown round.
Yes. Just last week, I had an interview with a kid who made it to the countdown round 3 times in a row.
I think I actually remember him.
Andrew Kai. That was wow. Yeah, exactly. MathCounts is a beautiful program, though, isn't it? Though
it really is.
I think every middle school should have a MathCounts program, in my opinion. Every middle school, because it's just so beautiful, the caliber of mathematics you're doing, the problem solving that you're exposed to. So, do you credit MathCounts quite a bit for developing you mathematically?
Yes, I really do, because it was my introduction to competitive math. And I got to see a lot of different question types that I saw later in UIL.
Okay. What was the name of your middle school, by the way?
Travis Middle School.
Travis. And they had an active MathCounts program. Did they do UIL there also?
They didn't do UIL. They only did MathCounts.
Oh, okay. Cool. And so you got introduced to UIL in 9th grade?
Yes.
With Mr. Rubach?
Yes, because I took Algebra 2, which he was teaching.
Oh, wow. He must have had a real impact on you. Wow.
He did. He was my teacher for 3 years of high school.
Wow.
Actually, yeah, 3.
Wow. So
it feels like I've known him forever, though.
That's great. There's a real comfort level, I can tell. So, I think a lot of people are going to be inspired by your story. You know what I'm saying? I just think it's so incredible. I want to know who inspires you, who shaped your value system, and who do you find inspiring?
Oh, 100% my mom.
Really?
My mom is like this practical, no-nonsense person who's always kept me grounded throughout the dramatic years of high school. So I'm a perfectionist and a professional overthinker, and then she's always been there to keep my head grounded.
Really? Okay, have you ever heard of the phrase tiger mom?
Yes, I have.
Is she a tiger mom?
I wouldn't say so. She has high expectations for me academically, but at the same time, she values my health and happiness over that stuff way more. She tells me all the time that she'd rather have me fail a test or do bad on a competition than have me lose sleep to study overnight.
Okay, I got you. I got you.
Mm-hmm.
So your mom, I guess all those walks around the neighborhood reciting your times table and all that influence she's had, and it's nice that you can appreciate that. It's really nice that you can appreciate that. So she inspires you.
Yes, and it's definitely wonderful to have a strong female role model too.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that's
She
great.
was
Go
she
ahead.
was actually the first girl from her village in China to graduate high school.
Really?
Hmm.
Wow. Wow. So did she come to America, or she went to school in China, or?
She went to college for a few years in China, but she came here for her PhD.
Oh, okay, okay. In New Mexico, that's where she met your dad. And all right,
Hmm.
cool, cool, cool. Um, awesome. So I want to talk a little bit about your high school years and UIL. In particular, I want to ask, what has been the most memorable moment or moments of your high school UIL journey?
Oh, these all my favorite moments involve meeting people. So one of my favorite memories is one I still think about from time to time. It's a little weird and obscure, but when I competed at region my sophomore year, I think, um, a guy in my division, he's like a super friendly competitor, also super smart. He was chatting with me because we were waiting for the test to start, and I got super psyched out because I was still an underclassman. I got just mentally thrown off really easily. So he was talking all about number sense strategies and stuff, and it was giving me anxiety. But there was this guy that was also standing next to us, and I think he was a senior at the time. But I guess he saw that I was uncomfortable because he kind of butted in our conversation and he steered it towards clearer waters. So then I felt calmer by the end of it. He was just incredibly nice, and I didn't think I'd see him again, but I actually met up with him after the competition, and his name is Frank. I don't know his last name because we've never seen each other since, but he's just a wonderful human being, and I'm so glad to have met him.
Do you remember what school he's from? Do you remember?
No, I don't. I feel like if I look back at the results, I could maybe find him, but
That's
he
a
was a
great story.
senior. Yeah.
I love that story because it's so random. I love that story. Just the smallest incident right
Yeah.
before an exam that had an impact on you. That I love that sort of story because wow, it's just so real. I really love that story. Just right before that, this was when you were 10th grade.
Yes.
Wow, and he could sense that you were starting to get filled with anxiety, and he kind of broke the waters. I love that story. That would be memorable. We got to find this Frank guy.
I know. I have to find him.
All right.
It's all the little moments that you really appreciate.
Yes, I agree. I agree. I'm sure. And did you feel much more comfortable? Did you go on to perform relatively well?
I did. I won first.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Wow, wow, that's great. That's great. Um, so tragically, we missed the 2020 season. How would you have done if we would have had a 2020 season?
Um, I really can't say because you never know what life has in store for you. I've kind of been on an upward trend since freshman year. I've just placed higher and higher each year, so maybe I could have done pretty good, but you never really know.
You're being modest. You're being modest. Let us know. You would have won it again. You would have won it last year too. I'm playing with you, Jessica. Yeah, I feel you. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell.
Hmm.
It's kind of an unfair question. That's why I ask it. So, which calculator do you prefer?
Well, I've always just used the TI-84 Plus. I know it's probably not the best model, but I'm kind of emotionally attached to it now since I've used it so much.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes it's better just to go with something you're comfortable with.
Hmm.
And it's a fine calculator. I'm pretty familiar with most calculators. That TI-84 is a perfectly good calculator.
It is, and it more than suffices for the type of math we have to do.
Absolutely, absolutely. I agree with that statement. So TIE 4, there we go. Um, how does it feel to be number one? You know, when you have the whole state of Texas and you have this vast land and you're number one, Jessica Zhang, number one on top of the mountain. How does that feel?
Um, I haven't completely processed it yet because I never got to see any of my competitors, so it just felt like I was competing against myself. But when I saw the results, like I instantly just felt relief because I've been working for this moment, and then now I finally got it. So, I mean, it feels good.
Yeah. Did they congratulate you at school? How was Mr. What did Mr. Rubach say?
He was so excited.
I would be. I'm sure he was very excited. And you did work hard, right? There was many hours of practice, many hours of sacrifice, and really years of dedication when you consider your competitive math journey.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Congratulations, man. That's incredible, Jessica. It's incredible. State champion, Jessica Zhang. That's awesome. Where will you keep that gold medal?
So right now it's hanging on one of our bookshelves. I normally keep all my medals in shoe boxes, but we have this one hanging up because it's special.
It is special. You should get a display case for this one. You should get a display case. It's special.
Maybe, but I'm saving my money for college.
I understand. So I'm going to ask a couple things. Some retrospective stuff and advice. What do you value the most about your UIL journey to this point?
Yeah, so what I value most is probably all the confidence it instilled in me, both academically and socially, because, UIL math, it covers so many different areas of math, and it really just helps you in school. It prepares you to think faster and then work without a calculator, and teaches you different problem-solving strategies. So that's been really helpful. And also just meeting new people along the way, talking to them before competition. It's really helped me socially.
UIL is such a beautiful thing. It's such a beautiful thing. I like how you say it helped you academically, but it also helped you socially. The bonds you create with your coach, the bond that you create with your teammates and fellow competitors, it's just a beautiful thing.
It really is.
So, like I said, you're going to be an inspiration. Now, here's the deal. Anyone who comes across this interview, boys and girls alike, will be inspired by your story. You will be inspired by your story. So here's the question I have for you. For any young kid, if you want to address the females in particular, feel free to address them. But what advice would you give for a young student who comes across this interview and is listening to you? What advice would you give?
So if I could tell any young person any piece of advice, especially me many years ago, my advice would just be to be kind to yourself. Be patient. Don't beat yourself up if things don't happen when you want them to. If things are meant to happen, then they will. So just work hard and try your best, and good things will eventually come your way. I wasn't state champion my freshman or sophomore year, but I finally am now, and that's all that matters.
Absolutely. So were there many bumps along the road?
Yes, I would say so.
But you persevered. And now you're state champion, Jessica Zhang.
Thank you.
Awesome, Jessica. So awesome. So, what does the future hold for Jessica Zhang?
In the immediate future, I need to find a job because college isn't cheap.
It's not, though. Where is college?
Okay, this is kind of an interesting story. I was enrolled at Carnegie Mellon University.
Really?
But then just last Friday, so the day of graduation, just like 3 or 4 hours before graduation, I got an email saying that I'd been accepted into Columbia University.
Oh.
So I think I'll go there instead.
Wow, Ivy League.
Very exciting.
Ivy League. You know what I'm saying? Wow, wow. One of my ex-students goes there. Maybe I'll put you in contact. Yeah, Mauricio Guerrero. He graduated from our high school. He's like either the third or fourth year at Columbia. This going to be this next year. So maybe I'll share his email with you if you don't mind. You know,
Well,
the more you know.
yes.
Columbia. Wow, that's a big deal.
Thank you.
Ivy League.
I was so excited.
Oh, I can't blame you. And you know, this whole time period in your life is exciting, Jessica. This is so exciting because, you know, I know you're going to miss Kelly and Carrie, you know, and I know you're going to miss all your friends at Port Lavaca, Calhoun, Sand Crabs and everything. But now, you know, you're going to close that chapter and you're going to go on to Columbia. Tell me how you're feeling. Tell me about the emotions you're going through. It's got to be so exciting.
I'm super excited. I can't wait to go to New York City, see the sights, meet all the new people, get ready to start learning because I heard Columbia's education, their core curriculum is amazing. So I'm excited to experience that. I'm also a little nervous because I'll be with some of probably the smartest people in my generation. So,
Oh
but
yes. But
it's
that
all for
includes you. That includes you. You're right there amongst them. You know, you earned a spot there. You belong there.
Thank you.
So what are you going to study?
I'm studying computer science.
Oh wow, wow, jeez. So there's a lot of work ahead of you.
There is
You know,
a
what I'm
lot of
saying?
math involved.
That's great because I think I think UIL has probably given you a bit of a background, a foundation in which to launch yourself.
It definitely has.
Awesome. Computer science, Columbia University. Sounds good. So here's the deal. Do you think that you'll ever find your way back to UIL, like maybe as a mentor? Do you think I know Port Lavaca is kind of like a small community, kind of. Do you think you'll ever end up back at Port Lavaca Calhoun? Do you think you'll stay connected to the high school? I know there's a lot of uncertainty in your life. You really don't know where your life will take you at this point. But what are your thoughts? Will you stay connected?
As far as the next 4 years, I most certainly will because my little sister is actually going to be a freshman next year and she's doing UIL math too. So my parents tasked me with training her to getting her prepared for it. And a lot of the underclassmen this year have, just come up to me and be like, can I ask you any questions? If I have questions, can I come to you? Can I text you? And I'm like, for sure, for sure.
Oh wow, yes, that's great. And you seem to be very approachable. You seem always like very smiley, so I'm sure they feel comfortable approaching you.
I hope so.
Your little sister has big shoes to fill. I don't know, man. She got a state champion older sister. That's tough to follow.
I think she'll do better than me. I have
Really?
confidence in her. I mean, I'm training her, so.
Hey, that's right. So I'm confident in the coach. And she's probably gonna. Mr. Rubach will probably help her out quite a bit too.
Definitely.
So it looks like Port Lavaca Calhoun Sand Crabs aren't going anywhere anytime soon. Looks like they're going to stay pretty competitive in the near future.
I hope so.
Yeah, exactly. That tradition. Awesome, Jessica. So, Jessica, do you have any parting words or final thoughts as we conclude this interview?
Just for our watchers, if you're in UIL, if you're thinking about joining UIL, just do it. Having the drive to even participate in UIL means you're almost there. You're halfway there to being a state champion. You just gotta work hard, and you'll end up like me.
Absolutely.
You'll be on Mr. Cantu's channel.
I hope so. Let's blow this up, Jessica. Absolutely. That's great words. That's great words of advice, Jessica. I find your story very inspiring. I can tell you're a nice, kind, fun, loving soul, and I really wish you the very best in Columbia. And I think good things are going to come your way.
Oh, thank you so much.
Absolutely, Jessica. Thank you for being on this channel.
Thank you for having me again.
Okay. Farewell. Farewell, Jessica.
Okay, bye. Have a good day.
Jessica Zhang, 2021 Class 4A Mathematics State Champion from Port Lavaca Calhoun Sand Crabs. What a sweet young lady. What a nice young lady. I wish her all the best at Columbia, and I think good things will follow her. Let me take a moment and remind you that if you enjoy this sort of material, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, smash that like button, and leave a comment below. I really appreciate you guys. My name is Saul Cantu, and this is Texas Math Mundo. Farewell.